Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Denton, powered by the Difference Media LLC and 2940 The Difference Radio. The voice of small businesses and the communities they serve. Today's show is hosted by Matt Kern, entrepreneur and founder of Denton Does It, and Beth Caudill, realtor with eXp Realty, Chance Post with Total Care, and Robert Tokarczyk with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. The North Texas Community Difference Series was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Denton
starts now.
Well, good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Community Difference-Denton chapter. I'm your host, Matt Kern. I'm so happy to see everybody today. We have a great guest on with us today, and always the co-hosts are always wonderful people, and really love being on with them. We're only a couple of days away from Thanksgiving, so we're going to talk about that today. But we should always be humble and thankful for the things that we have, and be appreciative of who we have in our lives too. So I want to talk about, the show we've been on since August, and our show is really based on the platform of showcasing local leaders and business people here in our Denton area who are really making a difference. That's why we call it the Difference Show. And we've had really some remarkable people in listening to their stories over the summer of what they have done and what they're doing in their personal lives and their business lives. And it's very touching, and it really humbles you. You know, sometimes when you think you might have it going wrong, man, listen to somebody else's story, and it'll humble you. Yeah, we've got it going on pretty darn good here, especially here in the North Texas area. I'm very happy to be a part of the Denton community. I've been around here all my life and born in Texas, and I wouldn't probably live anywhere else except for part-time, maybe in Florida and in Alaska, only in the summer in Alaska, by the way. But we really love it here. Our kids have grown up here, and this is a good place to live. Just in the whole Metroplex itself is great. But I just always want to remind everybody that Denton is at the top of the triangle, not the bottoms. So we have Denton, Tarrant County, Dallas County, and Denton counties at the top. Just letting y'all know. So why don't we bring in our co-host today, and that's going to be Beth Caudill and Chance Post and Robert Tokarczyk.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
What is going on? Listen, y'all don't even look at Chance because he's become so professional now trying to show us up, right?
That,
he's like 3 or 4 steps ahead of us right now.
And I even shared the show on my Facebook page. I finally figured out how to get all this going here.
This is how it starts right there. It's the gateway. Yeah.
It's the gateway.
That's what it is.
That's
so
awesome.
What's everybody been up to this last week? Anything changed? Anything remarkable happen in your lives?
I was in California last week for the National Association of Realtor conference.
Okay.
That is a whole nother world for real.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it is so different than what we have here. The homeless camp had set the I-10 bridge on fire. So, and the I-10 is one of the main corridors into LA.
Okay.
And people could not, I mean, you already know how bad LA traffic is, right?
Yeah.
But so, like, people are having to find alternate routes to get to downtown for 4 to 6 weeks is what they're saying. because
Why is the bridge
fire.
on fire, Beth?
They set the pallets all the way up to where the rafters of the bridge were.
Bridge? Wow. Why are we burning pallets at the bridge?
Don't go burning bridges.
Well, it's homeless.
Exactly.
It's homeless people, Matt. The homeless people are upset with the fact they don't have a home.
The other thing is California has a proposition to eliminate table salt from restaurant tables because it's bad
unhealthy.
for you.
Bad for you. Get your blood pressure up.
Right?
I think it's a great idea. We should have the government monitoring all of our business, and that way we won't have any problems. You take away the salt, take away the pepper. Pepper's not good for you either, I'm sure.
No, it is salt and pepper.
Pepper's going to be lonely at the table by itself.
Right.
No,
right?
it's salt and pepper both. I just was saying
both,
salt.
huh?
Oh, both
You
of
can
them?
see some arguments for salt.
I think maybe pepper's like guilty by association, probably not bad for you, but it's next to the salt, and so they get thrown in the same cupboard together.
Hey, do y'all notice what has happened to Beth? I mean, she's gone for a few days to California. It's already influenced her.
I know not let anybody else in from California. We need to put
it was like being in an alternate universe for real.
Was it?
I really thought that when I was there last week. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
It's a different world.
Yeah. Can you give us any good news from NAR?
Well, I mean, no,
Yeah.
maybe not. So
Okay.
National Association of Realtors is like not my favorite conference. Probably Texas Realtors Conference is my most favorite one that I go to.
Right.
Texas has it going on for real. So much more than like even the National Association.
Okay.
So, I mean, the big concern is there are some lawsuits out there. They're, bad news, but we can't talk about them.
Yeah.
And the interest rates have hampered people this year, and they don't know what's going to happen with housing. So not in Dallas-Fort Worth, but in other areas, some houses, the prices are declining some because we're, maybe going into a recession, right? But like, we are not seeing it here in DFW. Like, we're not seeing a decline in realtors. We're not seeing a decline in housing prices. Not really.
No.
It's really just flat, right? So Netris, who is like the MLS for this area, has projected like a modest 5% growth rate over, the next 3 years, but like really flat, like actually just flat. So, I mean, I think we're just going to have a leveling off period with houses in our area.
Do you remember when this happened before?
Yeah.
She was too young, Matt. She couldn't possibly remember that.
Listen, I got bad.
She was a little kid.
Actually, when this happened before, 2008.
Yeah, but totally
When you were in
different
high school?
circumstances, though.
You were just
Different
graduating high school, weren't you?
Yeah,
Right.
to me, yes.
Right.
Well, I had sold my business, the Little Gym at that time in 2008.
Right.
And I was with a different brokerage then, but the one big thing was, investing, right? So have you ever thought about it? So I started like actually researching a whole bunch of people like that were buying houses at the courthouse steps, what they were doing, were they fixing them, flipping them, were they keeping them as rentals? Because that's what the big message was back then, make these properties your rental properties. I'm like, you can't do that if you don't have any money. I didn't have any money back then at all, like none.
Right.
The good news is you're loaning money today. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, not
She's got
loaning
it
money
today.
Oh, I heard that you were
Winnie.
loaded with money now, so could help me out a little bit.
You're so silly.
Well, it is a Thanksgiving season.
Yes.
It is. I'm so thankful for you guys, but I was thankful to learn that kind of side of the business. Real estate has a lot of different sides, and investing is one of them. It was one of my I loved it.
Foreclosures was like 60% of my business for like 4 years, I bet.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Probably more than that.
If I hadn't been working through that and been in the right places and followed the right people, I would have been not in the real estate industry at that time. I would have
But-
bailed out.
The list would be how many, Robert? Like
Pages.
Thousands.
3, 8,
Yeah.
3, 4, 500 houses
Yeah. It was
Every
a lot.
week.
that might
Yeah.
foreclose, unless they
Yeah.
could work something out with their lender or do a
Yeah.
short sale.
You don't even have listings like that anymore of that many in
No,
cities.
Is
around
there
here.
even any? I mean, because they
No.
probably don't foreclose any houses now, right? Because the bank will just keep them.
There's not any.
Yeah, you-
There's not
Um,
any out there at all.
I heard of one yesterday where somebody had made a house payment in several months, but
Yeah.
I was like, so I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, no, we just sell it because there's
Yeah.
enough equity
money in it. Yeah,
those
there's enough.
houses now that there's no
There is.
short sales.
Yeah.
Not here anyway. So
Right.
maybe
Well,
other
Robert, do you
areas,
have-
but we're not seeing it.
Robert, do you have any
Expensive.
good news about, the forecast? Did any changes in the last week or so? Robert's asleep. There he
There he
goes.
is.
There he is. Did you hear what I
just
said?
went to my MiFi. My internet at the office keeps going in and out.
Oh, we were talking about,
So
have you
hopefully-
heard of any good news lately about the forecast of, interest rates? I noticed some people were mentioning
yeah,
last week that they had dropped just a little bit.
It did.
yeah, they did drop a little bit. So the consensus is now that the Fed is done raising the short-term rates, which is great. Keep the 10-year.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah, I think we're good. Another couple of good inflation reports, another good couple employment reports, and we'll start leveling off. So once that starts taking hold, interest rates will go down. I mean, right now we're artificially inflated just for the fact that the mortgages are about 3% above the 10-year Treasury note, and normally that's about 1.75%. So when the 10-year Treasury calms down, then that alone should bring the rates down about 1% or so. And then once they start easing, then we'll start seeing some improvement.
Yeah.
Hey, the gas prices have been going down too. I feel like
been
that
nice.
Yeah.
coincides for some reason.
I saw 265 the other day.
I know,
that
it's
was
crazy.
good. Yeah. Do you think that if we had to go to the emergency room, do you think right now, is it higher or lower? Don't say
I would-
anything, Chance. Higher or lower, guys? Do you think it's higher to go to emergency room right now or lower?
Lower.
Okay. Do you think it's faster or slower to go to total care emergency room?
Faster, for
Of
sure.
course it's faster.
Yeah.
And speaking of fast, Chance Post, that guy,
Yes,
he's
sir.
fast. He's got it going on.
I'm a jokester today. I've already had some good jokes, so I'm excited to be here.
Do you
Hey, I
have a
would
good
say-
dad joke?
No, I don't have any. I have one, but I'll have to think about it for a minute.
I've got a great one. Can I tell it real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, tell it. Go, Linda.
Do you know what the difference is between a hippo and a zippo?
No.
One is extremely heavy and the other one is a little lighter.
Oh my God. That's
That's a
great.
good dad joke.
That's a good one. I got to
That
remember
is
that.
a
one.
dad joke.
Dad
You
joke.
better send that
That's
to
good.
Brandon Todd on Channel 4.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, I think, real estate, obviously, listen, those who produce will keep producing because you have a strategy and a plan to work through it in the highs and lows of the business. We've seen the lows coming and the slowdown coming for, well over a year now. And we know what was coming down the pike. So it is what it
Yeah.
is. We do know that when it reaches whatever that level is, it's going to go back up. If you look at since 1960 at the details of how real estate has been working, it's been the same thing over and over again. It's 10, 15-year stretch, and then it's down. It's 10, 15-year stretch, and then it's down. So we'll be all right. It
I
all
just
work
think
out.
We've had a lot of good,
Yeah, a lot of good. And building is it's unbelievable how much new construction and commercial and residential is happening, especially here in the Denton County area. It's just a lot.
I mean,
So-
but they say we still need more new buildings.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
more new buildings and growth.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
sure.
no lower income building either. I mean, there's not a lot of places.
No, it's not going to be.
No,
Yeah.
Your material cost is too high. Let's take a break,
way too
guys,
high.
and then we'll come back. Let's get our guest on, do our segment, and get into it. How about that?
Okay, sounds great.
Sounds good.
The North Texas Community Difference-Denton is made possible in part by Beth Caudill and the Make the Move team with eXp Realty. Your trusted partners in Denton County, Texas, for all your real estate needs. We understand the local market and pride ourselves on delivering personalized service, backed by cutting-edge technology. Experience the difference with Make the Move team, and by Matt Kern with Denton Does It. A network of discovery. Effective networking involves active listening, genuine interest in others' work, and a willingness to offer support and resources. Investing time in others will create valuable connections that propel careers and unlock endless possibilities. Robert Tokarczyk with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Your go-to loan officer for all your home financing needs. Robert has been assisting families obtain the dream of home ownership for over 31 years with honest, stress-free service. His word is his bond. NMLS hashtag 258950/2289. And Chance Post with Total Care. Total Care has been treating our neighbors in North Texas since 2004 as a family-owned, patient-focused company headquartered near Fort Worth. Offering 10, 24-hour emergency rooms spanning from Weatherford to Garland. You can find links to our sponsors in the comments and descriptions, as well as on our website www.thedifferenceradio.com. If you or someone you know in the Denton area would like to sponsor or learn more about co-hosting the North Texas Community Difference-Denton, please reach out to Matt Kern at matthewdoesit@yahoo.com. And now back to our show.
Okay, we're back. We all made it back.
We
Yes,
did.
sir.
What's up with the glasses today, Chance? The eye's starting to.
I don't
Fail
like to look
on you?
old with my glasses on. I
I
cannot
think you
see.
look smarter with glasses.
Well, everybody knows I'm not that smart, so it's not tricking anybody.
Does everybody here wear glasses or contacts? Do y'all
I
wear?
I do, yes.
wear glasses to drive
You
Yeah.
do? Yeah.
at night. Just at
Yeah.
night. Like that weird. Like,
Here we go.
Yeah. I can
Mhm.
read just fine without my glasses. Don't need them, but to drive at night. Matter of fact, I have to go get my license renewed this year. And so I have to go in because the last time I did it online. So I have to go to Decatur to get because everybody's full unless you want to
Right,
wait
right.
till next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had to find the closest place and the earliest place I could do it.
Yeah, the
And
oxygen
it is what
chamber
it is.
destroyed my eyes.
What
Yeah.
did? What
I
did-
did 59 sessions or 58 sessions in the oxygen chamber to heal a radiation wound, and it really jacked up my eyes. And that was one of the effects of it. I read that, and one day I woke up and couldn't see, and they said it would be 6 to 8 weeks, and about 7 weeks later it came back, and then it just goes in and out since then.
Wow, Robert.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
That's
of fun.
Yeah, sure is. That Robert, he's got it, right? He's having all the
Yeah.
fun. Well, guys, we have a great guest on today, and I want to introduce you guys to Hannah Klaassen. So I met Hannah through the Denton Chamber of Commerce, and we've done some networking together over this last year. And do y'all ever feel like, or when do you feel like you need counseling? Like every day? Could you use a counselor every day to talk to? Y'all feel that way? Do you ever feel like
Good for you.
that sometimes you need a counselor in your life, but you don't have one? And then you think, well, who do I know that's a counselor? Well, you're going to meet that lady. So come on in, Hannah. There she is. How's it
Hey,
going?
Hannah.
It's going well.
Good. Well, thank you for hanging back there in the backstage of the show and listen to all of us carry on and talk about, the things that are going on in the local market and Beth's trip to California on that too. Do you
Listen,
see in
learn
your
every day
There, I
as I
can't help
listen.
it.
right? Do you see in your business a lot of people moving from the other states into Texas, and do you have them as any clients?
Um, I do. I actually have been seeing people moving to Texas, and that can be a point that people need therapy, is that transition, culture
Yeah.
shock, all those kind of things that can come up. And so we actually have an intern working for us right now who moved here from Maine a few months ago.
Oh,
So we've
wow.
got a lot of people coming in. Hmm.
Well, after these shows that I have with these three, I usually need counseling, just to let you know.
Wow.
So we're going to have to
Wow.
talk.
I
We're gonna have
honestly
to
thought
talk after that.
I thought Hannah was going to say she's curing people that are moving here from California.
I don't know if I
That's
can
a
do
great
that,
business.
unfortunately. Not
Well,
my
Hannah,
specialty.
we're gonna get in and talk about what you do and who you are in just a minute, but we do have a segment, and it's called
What's up, Denton?
What's
What's
that?
Up, What's Up, Denton?
What's up?
I was in the store the other day on the square, for Denton Community,
Yeah.
and those shirts that they have in there in the mugs that says, "Oh no, you didn't," in there. Yeah, just
Yeah.
kills me.
You.
Right?
I think I would need to get one of those. That would be
Yeah.
good for the show.
They have a great store on the square for all things like that. I have t-shirts that say, "What's up, Denton?" or any, I love them. I think they're very fun.
Well, it's all connected to Denton, discoverdenton.com. And that's just a place that's a retail place, for everybody to be able to get maps and everything there. Listen, go by there on the square. A lot of their maps are all free anyway, but they do have other things to buy in there that are really cute. But the lady who runs that over there, and I'm trying to remember what her name is, she is just a plethora of information, and she'll tell you about anything you need to know about Denton. Her and I were going back and forth. Well, did you know this? Well, did you know that? So it was really good. We were carrying on. So tell us about what's up in Denton.
Okay, so if you guys are looking like you got family in town, I was thinking, you guys probably have family or something going on. Tonight at the Loophole, because you might need a little drink because you've had family around for a while. They have karaoke. You could even sing from 9 to noon, right? That's tonight. And then there's other things, like they have bingo. You can look at their website, discoverdenton.com, and see there are so many fun things like bingo, like karaoke, classes you can take, all kinds of things. So things I noted that I think are really interesting, on the 25th, which is Saturday, they have Christmas on the Farm, which is at the Texas Tour Farm. And it's going to go till the 3rd. So you'll be able to get your Christmas tree for Christmas if you're getting ready for that.
Okay.
And you'll get to see the real Santa. So they have that at the Tour Farm. I know, crazy.
So do you cut your own tree? Do you get to cut your own tree and then drag it out to the thing, or are they already cut?
I feel like they might have it, but I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But one or the other of those things is going to be true.
What I would do is throw your chainsaw in the trunk just in case.
Yeah. Just I feel like they should have provided.
They don't allow chainsaws in there. Chance is chasing people around with a pig mask on.
Right.
I feel like that's like too many Hallmark movies that you think you could go cut your tree down here in North Texas. But
well,
once you hurt yourself with your chainsaw, go to Total Care.
Right?
Right. And that's where I was leading with that.
That's what he's doing. He wants you to go.
Yeah,
Total
driving
Care.
business.
Well,
I'm
they
the
usually
business
do give you a
development rep over here. I got more
they
people
do give
to
you a
go to
hand
the
saw.
ER.
Okay,
you can get a hand saw.
So this weekend, if you guys haven't been paying attention, UNT football is really good this year. They are playing University of Alabama at Birmingham on Saturday, the 25th. And then also, because we're all, DFW is all about the sports lately because hockey's been really good.
Yes.
But the UNT basketball is the 26th against Angelo. And that Angelo State, and that's right here, up at Apogee. One,
I love watching the girls or the boys play over there. It's been very good.
it's fun, right? And then
Yep.
one thing I think is also really cool is this Sunday. No. On the last Sunday of the month at Steve's Wine Bar. So that's coming up, right? The 26th here. They are going to have Steve's Wine Bar gives you, a drink, but they celebrate all birthdays that were in November. So you
Okay.
can go up to Steve's Wine Bar and get a glass of wine, which is kind of fun. And they're super nice people too.
Don't they have wine that's called birthday cake wine or something like
Probably. I think they
Yeah.
have all kinds of wine.
that? Cupcake,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
But
Yeah, maybe.
Steve and his wife are darling and
Super
you will
people.
love them.
Yes,
So
they're
go
very
see them.
nice. Yeah.
And then just two other things. So really quick, I just wanted to know December 2nd, I'm just getting a little bit into December, but you can have breakfast with the Grinch at the Civic Center. So that's pretty
Nice.
cool. Like after you're done with Thanksgiving, you can go be Grinchy and have breakfast with them. And then December 4th at the Harvest House, they're actually having a holiday mixology class. So you'll get to learn how to make different drinks that they're doing, like at the Harvest House there on Hickory. So
Cool.
that's pretty fun.
Jingle Mingle is this weekend too, I believe.
Where's that at?
I think it's at the Civic Center.
Oh, nice. Jingle
Yeah.
Mingle. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds awesome. I missed that one, but I'm
I
sorry.
think our friends Cassandra and Heather and them are involved with that. Tina is involved with that too.
For some reason, I thought that it was the following week, but okay.
It might be, but I thought it was. I could be wrong. I don't remember. now.
Yeah.
And we
I'm
have
sure
total
I have-
total networking the 28th at the Dive.
What do y'all do there,
Oh,
Chance?
That's Tuesday.
We have a free business networking event where I will pay for your appetizers. So it's good food.
Nice. And
December
it's
9th is when
December.
Jingle Mingle. I'm sorry.
That's
December
what I
9th.
thought it was later. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
10
I
a.m.
only went through like December 4th, so
Yeah, that's
because
good.
I thought in December, the beginning of December, we'd cover the other dates after.
Well, let's Chance real quick.
Yes.
Why do you have a total care mixer? Why?
Well,
Why do you do
the
that?
whole point is really just to help local businesses connect. We do networking, we do this podcast. It's just another way for us to meet up in person, get to know, like, and trust each other so we can get more business. So the whole point is to be consistent, get out, meet people, make new friends, make new business acquaintances, and just, that should be, it's a great platform for you just to, you might have met somebody at the Denton Chamber, you might see us on this podcast, and then you can meet us in person at Total Networking.
So do you feel like building a relationship with somebody is at the top of the
I honestly would say that most of our business, even as an emergency room with our partners, almost all of those have come from networking at some degree, whether maybe not someone who's hurt, but someone we partner with, the group that manages our patients after they leave. They're all people we met through networking. So it's just a great way. I feel like it's the most important thing you can do to grow your business.
When people go into the emergency room, do they ask for Chance Post, Dr. Chance Post?
No, but a lot of times they text me and say, "Hey, I'm here," and then they'll send me pictures.
Where
I'm
are
like,
you?
"Yeah, you know what? You just need to, wait and see the doctor. You can text me later, not during the."
They want to show you what they broke.
Like a lot of times, like
Right.
during COVID, they would be like, "Hey, I feel better. I just had this treatment," things like that, and it was like kind of funny.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Do I get a discount if I say I saw Chance post on the community difference?
You know what? You will get a discount. You say you saw me on the difference.
Right.
I'll
we
make that
go.
happen.
That's
Really?
Get
great.
out there.
You
See if
get-
let's see if I get
Get a
fired now.
dollar off. Dollar off. There you go.
Wow.
All right. Is that all you got, Beth? On
Yes,
what's up?
that's all I got.
Okay. Well, can y'all believe that December is, we're like right around the corner. Here we
Around
go.
the corner.
Yeah. So
No, it's been such a fast month. And like the fact that Thanksgiving's already here.
yeah.
I know.
Well, we're
Right.
going to talk about Thanksgiving.
It's stressing
today.
me out.
Sorry.
I'll wait. We don't want to talk about that now, do we?
No,
I'm
not
already-
yet.
I have anxiety because of what we've already talked about.
Hannah's
earlier
going
on
to
the
take
show.
care of us all. She's
Oh,
going to
that's
make
right.
us all
I
feel
can have
better.
a session with her
Got
right
you.
after this.
Right. So, well, let's talk about Hannah for a minute, guys. That's why we bring guests on so we can talk about them. right?
Yeah.
And get into the nitty gritty. So, so Hannah's a licensed professional counselor, which is better than not being professional or licensed, right? Just,
Yes.
hey, I'm Hannah. I'll be your counselor today, right?
Yes,
And
that is not legal.
and sister, I didn't know this that you're a registered yoga teacher too. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yes, sir, I
on that.
am.
So y'all know what she specializes in? She specializes in getting unstuck. You ever feel stuck? Do you? Well, she's going to show us how to get unstuck today.
That's a lot
So
of pressure.
it is. So Hannah, tell us about yourself and how you got into this business.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before we got started, I'm originally from Garland, Texas, and when I was living there, there was a lot of addiction issues I was seeing in teens, and so that's really what I wanted to specialize in when I got into school. But after working at the juvenile detention center and beginning my internship, now called associateship in counseling, I began working a lot with actual adult offender populations. I work currently with federal probation, so that fills that need. But I found this whole group of people that really needed help, and that's going to be, entrepreneurs are honestly one of the biggest markets for ADHD, anxiety, and what we call complex trauma now. So
Can't even
that's
imagine.
that's been kind of something that comes in. It's those patterns that keep us kind of moving in this way. And we're asking ourselves, like, why can't I move my business forward? Or why can't I move forward in my life? And it's, oh, no, I'm doing this thing and it's really not helpful. And I need to work on figuring out how to make a new neural connection in my brain so that I can start doing the things that are going to be helpful for me to be successful. So that's kind of what's led me into specializing in this population that I really like to work with. And I'm really excited about Thanksgiving because I think cultivating gratitude as a practice can be really, really important to help getting you unstuck. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, that was one of the questions I was going to talk to you today. I'll bring up in a minute. Lyndon was asking, did you know Kyle Keller in South Garland?
I don't. The name doesn't sound familiar, unfortunately.
I know a Kelly Keller, by the way. Anyway, and a Kenneth Keller. How about that? Okay. So I don't know that the rest of the group knows this or not, but Hannah is breaking barriers today. Y'all know why?
Why?
Because this is their first time on podcasting. Is that right?
Oh,
All right.
congratulations.
Isn't that right?
This is big.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
So tell everybody, our little story about me asking you to be on.
Yeah, so I actually want to rewind it back a little bit and say
Okay.
Matt was the first person I met networking in Denton. So I sat down at a table when I went to the Denton Chamber of Commerce for the Wake Up Wednesday coffee. I had deer in the headlights look on my face, and I was like, where am I? And Matt was the first person who said hi to me, said send me an email after this, was really kind to me, and made me feel welcome and a part of the Denton entrepreneur community. So I really appreciated that. And so he's somebody I go to occasionally and, ask questions about things. And we were in a group a few months ago, and he had mentioned his podcast, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'd love to be on it. Just because I'm a therapist doesn't mean all of my anxiety is cured. So we talked a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, let me listen to a few episodes and see if I'd be a good fit. And then I just didn't make eye contact anytime I saw him after that. I was like, I haven't listened to an episode. I don't know what's going on. I've only listened to half of one. And so finally I went up to him and I said, listen, let's just do it. I don't need to sit here and prepare myself forever and try and do it perfect. You just got to get out there and try things. And that's what I tell a lot of my clients, action before motivation. Sometimes you're not motivated to do something. You're scared to do something. So you just got to rip the Band-Aid off and do it. You're not going to have the ability or that skill to do it. And Matt was really encouraging to me. He was like, I knew you're being a chicken. You just got to get out there and do it. And I was like, you know what? I really was. And so we talked at the last networking event we were at, and we got this on the schedule. So I'm really grateful that you encouraged me to kind of get out of my shell and do something that was on my like bucket list or things that I wanted to do, but couldn't really bring myself to do it for fear that I wouldn't do it perfect. Right.
Yeah. See that, guys? I was counseling the counselor. What
That's
I was
awesome.
doing. No,
I
you know
love
what
that
I was
too.
doing? I was being an ambassador is what I was doing.
Oh,
Right? I
nice.
saw
Yeah.
I saw the need and I filled it. That's what I did, you know, and that's what we do as people in business who care about others, right? Is that she needed that helping hand to
Mhm.
keep going, and then just give her a minute, like all of us. Sometimes you got to back off and just give the person a minute to think about things and to rationalize what they're fixing to do. But it's up to us individually to take that responsibility to take the step forward, right? And then move into whatever that new thing is, right? And stay out of the comfort zone. We get in the comfort zone and then we just became lazy and we never do it. Then we procrastinate and then another year goes by. It was like, oh, I should have done that. And that window has closed. And sometimes we need to jump in or jump out of the window when it opens, right?
Sometimes we can go into the comfort zone by going to break, and we go right into that comfort zone.
Wow, what a segue
Like
in.
that?
Yeah. So let's take a break. We'll be back.
The Community Difference is a new series of shows powered by the Difference Radio live stream and podcast network. This series of shows was designed to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us. By working with the local community leaders, business owners, first responders, veterans, schools, and citizens who want to unite with a clear and selfless purpose, the Community Difference seeks to spotlight the people, events, and activities that are producing positive outcomes, inspirational stories, and incredible experiences. In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation, and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe and support The Difference, understands there is no better way to make the difference than to highlight the unsung heroes that call our towns and communities home. We are currently searching for local communities to be the focus of our shows, but before we can launch a show in your community, we need your help. We need you along with local business leaders, chambers of commerces, major nonprofits, online community group leaders, networking groups, etc., to join us in making the difference and helping your community be seen, be heard, and be remembered. So, if you would like to know how you, your business, school, social media community, church, or your favorite nonprofit organization can be a part of this unique and powerful program, reach out to us today and introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to contribute and bring awareness to the amazing people, places, and events that are making the difference in the community you love. You can call us at 972-866-4596 or email us at info@thedifferenceradio.com.
And now, back to the show.
All right. Well, we're back. All right, Hannah. So counsel us for a minute. Since you were talking about, seeing entrepreneurs, people in business on their own, and obviously you're now working, here in the Denton County area. I know you can't get into particular things, but as all of us here on this podcast, several of us work in the real estate industry, but we're all networking together. We've all networked together. What do you see as the local people and groups? There's got to be like a same thing that you see over and over again with people of what they're dealing with and the stress that they go through. Is it anxiety? Is it stress? What starts it, and how do you fix it?
Yeah, so I think come back to that concept that I had mentioned before of I'm if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, of that complex trauma, what I would really kind of label that as for most of the entrepreneurs that I see in the community, at least, not necessarily going into my caseload, but I think that self-doubt that creeps in when we start to get a good idea going, and then it pulls us back and we don't quite know how to move forward. And the problem is that so many of our local entrepreneurs have these great ideas and they really have the skills that they need to do it, but then they start to get into that questioning mode, and that's what keeps them stuck. I think a lot of time we think of it as like, I'm risk averse. I don't like taking risks, but I think when people know that they are competent in something, it doesn't feel like a risk because you know that you know what you're doing. And so that's one of the main things that I would say that I see in our area. And when you see people overcome that and, take the risk or actually begin to work out of self-compassion. So, being okay with messing up, being okay with not getting it right the first time, you really see people grow these amazing businesses and be able to move forward in ways that they can't when they stay in that self-doubt, risk-averse mindset.
Yeah, I I always say this. Don't take it personal, y'all. But people who are entrepreneurs, people who work in mortgage or in banking on their own or in real estate, it's hard for them. I think they all do that because they don't want to work for somebody else, or they have worked for a major corporation, a Fortune 100, 500, or whatever, mom and pop, and they see the lack of leadership in that sometimes, or that person just, it's hard for them to work for somebody else. It's not in their nature, right? Can we talk about your nature for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the reason I mention ADHD as a common thing among entrepreneurs, I think it's hard for people to identify with, but it's really a skill set. I think a lot of the time we see it as a deficit, right? Because deficit's literally in the word.
Yes.
But there's this drive, this desire to start things, to do something different, to make a change, to move forward. But I think that our nature, a lot of entrepreneurs, and even I think it's Guy Raz, talks about like the nature of being entrepreneurial, even inside of companies. If you're an employee for someone, like that desire to make change, to do something different, to innovate, I think it's definitely in a lot of the business community here in Denton, Texas, globally. You're going to see that motivation, that fire to change things.
I was going to ask you, you're talking about the risk adverse. And do you think that entrepreneurs sometimes, or like, let's say I'm nervous to start a new job, or I'm starting a company because I may feel like, oh, my job is safe because I work for a bigger company. But the reality is, you can always get laid off. The economy, bigger companies are always affected by the economy. You're already starting to see some layoffs in different industries. And so I think it's interesting, I guess, what's your kind of take on that? You think that's like a common barrier? I mean, how do you overcome that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the time people opt for certainty in times, and really what they're doing is they're convincing themselves that one thing is more certain than another.
Right.
There's not really much certainty in life. Things are going to change. The likelihood you'll be move companies 2-3 times in your life, even if you stay as an employee, all of that kind of stuff. I think we just have gotten into that sort of myth that's been perpetuated by generations before mine and generations under mine, of like there's safety in being with something that we think is constant, but nothing's constant. You never know, right? My grandparents owned a booming typewriter repair business, and then the word processor came along, and
Right.
that went away. So there's not as much certainty, I think, in that. And when you begin to realize that you are an agent, that you get to make that change in your own life and decide where you're going, and get okay with the fact that just things aren't always going to work out, no matter if you work for something that feels really solid or if you start your own thing, you'll be able to move in the direction that you want to go and feel really confident in your future. Because I think that's the biggest thing, is people are trying to avoid change, but it's coming. Just how do you want to approach it?
Love that. God, that's great.
But I do feel like, entrepreneur, or if you have a W-2, right? I feel like some people are really tied to that W-2, that steady paycheck, right? They can't handle the, I got paid a lot now, but I won't get paid again for 6 months or whatever, right? Where some people are like, okay, I need my paycheck every 2 weeks, so I can keep on doing, they're really hung up on that routine of, even though they'd be great at this, they can't see it. They can't see the forest for the trees, or whatever that is, right?
Yeah. And I think you can really set yourself up to have that stability if that's something you need. I think you have to give yourself 1 year, you get some projections down, and then just make that paycheck a steady paycheck. I mean, if you know that you're going to make the most money you're ever going to make in December, and then in June you're going to make almost no money, don't take a huge paycheck in December. Save some of that money so you can have that constant paycheck in June.
Yeah,
There's
average it
ways
out.
yeah, there's ways to set things up to where it doesn't feel as overwhelming. You just have to know your nature, like Matt said, and then work with that rather than trying to work against it, I think.
Yeah, make a plan. Make a plan, right? Like,
Yes.
because I mean, I talk to people who are first time home buyers and that kind of thing on a regular basis. And one yesterday, we had shown a house. He's like, wait a minute, I have to have $6,000 to buy this house. Well, yeah. Like, he literally somehow, even though, you know, we'd gone over this, it like just hit him, you know, and he's like, oh, I gotta wait. Like, so like it's all talking about making a plan, how to, you know, go through those highs, lows, right? And probably for a lot of things, a plan's gonna work really good if you can stick to that and not be ADHD and lose your track, lose your trade track. Like there are very many moments so far today I felt like, oh my goodness, Hannah, are you talking to me? Are you trying to like call me out without calling me out? What's
Right.
going on?
I thought. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say. I thought Beth was teeing up Robert for the no money down loan
Right.
mortgage.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, Robert. Come on.
But,
We're everywhere.
you know, you were,
We have down
Beth, you were
payments
right
in
on that.
Grantsville, so it is no money down, kind of.
Yeah. But Beth, you're right on that. Listen, you have to have a plan. You better plan out your business life and your personal life. It doesn't mean that it's going to stick to that. But if you don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going. Then from that point, you have to build your strategic, processes as you go. I think Lyndon had something to say about this too. What was that, Lyndon?
Well, every time I hear this story, and I love what Hannah's saying because it's what led me to be an entrepreneur. My mother had worked for a company. I'm not going to share the name, but they're a national or global defense company. And she had worked there for 19 and a half years as a corporate nurse. And she got laid off 6 months before she was going to retire at her 20 years. So anybody got any ideas why they laid her off?
Well, that
Not to
sounds
pay her.
like
Not
that
to
was
pay her. That was
planned.
probably had
Right.
a pension, right?
She had a
20-year pension.
pension, and it wasn't fully vetted until year 20.
Oh my God.
And of course, then they could hire someone out of a new nurse and not pay them nearly as much either. But it just showed me at that point that all that security, I mean, corporate jobs are not what they used to be. All that security
no.
you thought you had, you don't have.
Yeah.
And I told myself at that point, I was about 19 years old, I guess at the time, maybe 20. I was in college. And I said, I'll never do it. Now I have worked in the corporate world and I've been laid off before because of it. And it just reinforces that there are so many stresses that entrepreneurs go through. And I understand leaving a what you consider a secure paycheck to go into something that may not, it's just a different world for you, but you do control your own destiny. And that's just what I wanted to add, because if you go 19 and a half years and someone pulls the rug out from under you, man, that was as a son, it was hard to see my mother, especially, but my parents go through what they had bet their future on.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't bet on the come because it might not come, on there too. I have a checklist that I work with, in the real estate community, but also in the business. So I have a checklist for both. And it really covers, what your plans are, what you're executing, what needs improvement. And it always shows a theme. And the theme is it's black and white. It's either yes, and you're executing, right? And you're getting your plan and you're working your plan out. Or most of the time it's a lot of no's and needs improvement. There's a column for needs improvement, and a lot of people who start in the business of any kind, if you don't have that set up and you don't have a mentor in your life or a counselor or a business coach, if you just go by daily, whatever happens kind of thing, you're not going to execute what you want to do in the time that you want to do it. Because we know that at least in our first 90 days of our business, it's going to be the most expensive, if not a year, times 6 months to a year. It's going to be the most expensive, the most stressful time because we're starting something new and we're trying to follow some kind of path that we think we're going to do. And what happens, I see, is that, okay, that person starts to get busy. But guess what happens when they get busy? They're the one man show, one woman show, right? Then they don't network and they don't market and they don't do all those other things because they're not blocking time to do all of those things that they need to get done, right? And sometimes we can't afford just to hire somebody else and help us with that in the very beginning. Or we just try to keep doing everything on our own, and it catches up to you sooner or later. In the holiday season, Hannah, why does the holiday season have an effect on people in negative ways a lot of times when it's such a great time to be celebrating?
Okay, so I want to answer this question, and I'm noticing in the chat that we need to take a break. So can I have a little more time to answer
You are
the
a rock
question after the
star.
break?
You are a rock star.
Well, way to show it up.
She needs to come on more often.
This cannot be her first time on a podcast. is what
Yeah,
I
you are
said.
you are
Good,
awesome.
Hannah.
I can't believe
Way
this.
to
She's
go.
so good.
Awesome.
Okay, well, guess what?
Maybe.
I guess Hannah's going to be running the show from now on. Yeah.
Right? Hey,
Lennon's
John,
already
say
texting
hi.
her right
I
now.
wanted to
We've
say,
got an
John.
opening for you.
We got an opening. Here you go. This might
And
be
we were
it, Hannah.
and we were talking about time. I was going to jump in there and go, "Oh, it's time for a break."
Okay. Well, since Hannah's bullying us on time, then we're going to go ahead and take a break. We might come back with her. I'm not sure.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
JP Direct Health offers affordable health insurance solutions for individuals, families, and small businesses specializing in custom coverages to fit your needs and budget. JP Direct Health offers comprehensive benefits, including PPO health plans, accident and critical illness coverage, dental and vision, health matching accounts, along with telehealth at no cost per call. Call JP Direct Health today to learn more about how we can help you protect your health and your budget.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond. Let us get it out of the dust.
Are you looking for new or more reliable and affordable home services? Look no further than Utility Connect. At Utility Connect, we understand that every customer is different. Thanks to our partnership with The Difference, our free concierge service seamlessly shops all of your utilities and services for your home or business with one easy phone call. So what are you waiting for? Call Utility Connect today and experience the difference. For more information, give us a call at 469-414-2033 or visit us at www.utilityconnect.net/thedifference to learn more.
Are you a business owner looking to grow your company? Get fast, easy financing up to $5 million with no minimum FICO score required. Apply in 60 seconds and get funded in 24 hours. Call Jim Thomas at 214-629-7223 to talk to a financing professional today. Your business's future is waiting. So don't delay. Call now and tell him that you saw him on The Difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, we're back. So
Yay.
we're back with our leader today, Hannah Klaassen.
She just
All
got
right.
promoted.
Yay,
Just got
Hannah.
promoted. Yeah, that's what happens. All right, so we were on this discussion about how the holidays affect us emotionally and not always in a positive way when it's holiday of thankfulness and celebration.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think a couple of things really that play a factor in this are grief is a big one, and I'll speak a little bit about that one, and then I'll talk a little bit more about expectations. So I think a lot of the time people really start to contend with grief around this time of year, whether they're missing loved ones that have either passed away or no longer participating in the family. But I think another part of that is people grieving things that they've given up or that they've lost over the last year. A lot of this can be triggers for addiction. A lot of people who have given up maybe drinking, things like that. There's usually wine with the meal, that sort of thing. And so it can be a bit difficult. But I think the most important one that we don't realize is there's this expectation, right? We've all seen holiday movies, the beautiful turkey, the everything's going to go perfectly well. And then it just kind of doesn't go that way. And so I think people lose the ability to be present when they project into the future what the expectation is going to be. And so people don't experience that joy in the way that they might if they weren't planning, kind of throwing it back to what we were saying before, of like planning so heavily on, I'm going to watch the parade, I'm going to have this coffee, my mom's going to be in a good mood, and this is going to have whatever it is, right? It's,
right.
Somebody might wake up with a sinus infection, and somebody
Seriously.
may not have thought out the turkey, and going with those little things and experiencing the joy and the kind of the silliness in that. I remember the Thanksgiving that I had to make my mom chicken noodle soup in the morning because she had a sinus infection or whatever. It's like, we really can enjoy those things. We just forget that we can when we have such harsh, hard and fast expectations of what the day is going to look like. And then we begin to become sad and feel disappointed with how things went, rather than being present and in the moment and just accepting things as they come.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the loss of a loved one. Like,
Yes.
my husband and I both lost our mom 2 years ago, like during that year, right? So September and July. And so my great idea at the holidays was I was going to recreate the foods my mother-in-law made at Christmas time. And it was a horrible fail. But I mean, we did plan something, right? But like, it's tough. And especially the first or second year, it's really hard, when they,
Yeah, you're missing them. Yeah, you're missing them.
And all those traditions, right?
All the
Especially
traditions.
at the holidays.
Yeah.
Things you did.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're on the topic of being thankful, I really like to thank, and we'd all on the team here want to thank all of our listeners and our followers and our watchers and our likes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yes. Yeah, we appreciate that. We're glad y'all are involved with us today. I think it's a good discussion today. Don't you think, so I'm going to ask the counselor question is, don't you think that all of us need counseling, right? Everybody. What age should people really start getting professional counseling at? And how much counseling do we need?
That's a great question.
Those are very generalistic questions, but
how much counseling does Matt need?
Well, I don't know if we have time for that today, but
we're gonna have to have you back. We can go around the horn here and figure out who's
just figuring out how many sessions I need.
That's
so she's
right.
counting money.
She's doing the math. Like, okay, $6,000. I think we can get you covered till through Christmas.
Poor
right.
Hannah.
Wow, man, that sounds. I need a new business plan.
Right, Chance, man.
Make a plan.
He's your marketer.
That's right. That's what I do.
With this question, I think it's really important to look at people through the lifespan and say, there's not really a right age to start. There's the age when you're ready. And so for some people that may be 7, for some people that might be 52. It just depends. And I think the important piece is there's no set age, because there's no set developmental marker of what you're going to be working on. So I've got clients who are 12 and they're working on bullying or parents at home, things like that. And then I've got clients who are 23 who are just realizing, my upbringing was kind of weird and I need to talk about that. And I've got clients who are in their 50s who are saying, the rest of my life is getting shorter, and what do I want to work on now? So it really just depends on where you're at, and developmentally, it's really going to influence the issues that you want to work on. I don't think there's a set number of sessions for any particular client. It depends on if you have a specific goal, or if you want to work with a counselor like myself. I really work at what I call root work. Trees grow, right? And we see them. And so you're the person that I see. But all of those roots, the things that have gotten you to this place, I want to dig those up and really piece them out so that we can feel good about you moving forward. I can give you a skill. You can go do deep breathing, and you can come back in 6 months and say, I'm doing deep breathing, but I don't know why I'm still having panic attacks. And so what my goal is with clients is to figure out, where did this start? How do we change that in your brain? And then hopefully we can stop that from being something that's recurrent over time, because the skills sometimes will fade away and they won't work as well once we've had that forever. So there's no right time to start therapy. There's just when you're ready. I don't encourage anyone to start because somebody else told them that they needed to, unless they feel like it is a good time for them. Because if you don't know what you're working on, you're going to feel really lost and maybe feel overwhelmed or like you're failing at it. And it's a place for you to go and heal and get what you need.
Yeah, those are all good points. I am sure that you hear this all the time, that people think they only need counseling because they're troubled, or a troubled kid, or they're a troubled teenager, or a troubled adult, right? You need to go get counseling. You hear those. Seems like I've heard that all my life. But you know what I mean? Is like, look, it's not about just don't think of yourself as being troubled unless you are, but you know what I mean? It's like having somebody to listen to the things that you need to get off of your chest that are neutral to the situation, and that can give advice or allow you to give yourself your own advice and help yourself forgive yourself for those things that you hold against you,
Yeah, I think anybody could benefit from counseling. There's just people who are ready, and there are people who are not. And that's okay. That's up to you. That's your choice. But it doesn't make you weird or anything wrong with you. It's just that you're ready to talk about things in a different way, and you're ready to kind of develop a little bit further past where you've been and feeling stuck in that way. And so,
well, I think fear stops us, right?
and stigma.
What is your thought on fear from a counselor's point of view, not from personal point of view, but from a counselor's point of view? What do you think fear really is, and how does it stop us when a lot of times fear is just a lie?
So from a counseling point of view, I would say there's a very important biological need for fear, right? Don't jump off that cliff. Don't touch that fire, right? The problem is our brain starts to generalize that fear to other things because it was originally put into our brain as a way to protect us and keep us from doing things that are really going to be harmful. The problem nowadays is it's really great. We have all of this innovation, all of these great things, but our brain doesn't have as much interaction with, that bear in the woods or the tiger that's running towards us, and start to create fear around things that kind of seem like they could be a tiger or a bear or something like that. And that might be something as simple as like, if I don't do the dishes before people come over, they're going to think I'm this terrible, dirty person, and we can start spiraling in this anxiety. So anxiety is healthy and we need it. But when it turns into this fear, this panic, this overwhelm, we tend to really freeze and not be able to move forward. And so I think realizing that it's generalizing to other places, pausing when we start to become fearful, taking a deep breath and saying, is this thing really as difficult or as big of a deal as I think it is? And then choosing a new pathway rather than going down that spiral of panicking. What if I can't, make, as much money as I thought this month? Am I going to be able to pay my bills? You're going to figure it out. You have to, right? Like there's no option for you to not figure it out, and you still be well. So I would say that fear a lot of the time gives us good information about how you're feeling, but going with it is really the trouble. making a new choice is really the only way to get out of that.
Amen.
I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask one, and then I'm going to ask the one I'm really thinking. So, what's the difference between a therapist and a personal coach?
That's actually a funny question that you ask. I love education. So I'm currently in a program to become an herbalist, a holistic nutritionist, and a health and wellness coach. And my husband and I were having this conversation last night. What's the difference between coaching and therapy? And I think therapy, a lot of the time, is more focused on, like I said, that root work, getting at what's underneath the thing so that you can resolve the patterns of needing to complete a task or do something in a new way, where I think with coaching, a lot of time it's very goal oriented and goal focused. And so that can be really helpful. It can be really beneficial. I think the difference is going to be the amount of training and the depth that you go to resolve some of those underlying issues. And so coaching can be really beneficial for some like short-term goals, like a 6-month goal, or even like a 3-month goal or 1-month goal. Counseling is kind of a way of reorienting your brain to approach the world very differently.
That's so interesting. I love the whole planting and retraining your brain piece of this, by the way.
I heard a comment the other day, Beth, that said that your fruit comes from your root.
No, that's so
Yeah.
it's really incredibly interesting. I've kind of been somebody that's like analyzed all kinds of things my whole life. I've had, there's some history in my family and some things I like to like. So obviously everybody is like that, right? Their family history creates who they are now, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. But the other thing, and the very first thing I thought before you even started, when you said, well, I was going to watch these podcasts, and then it didn't happen. But then I was like, okay, Matt, put me on, whatever, because I'm amazing. Like, I think that's what you should have said to yourself. But I was kind of thinking, do you sit here and then you see people and go, oh, she needs this, or he needs that? Because I kind of think hairstylists would do the same thing. Like, they need to do this to their hair or that, or, so same thing when you're a counselor. Do you ever go, oh, they need this, or anything like that?
There's got to be tattletale signs.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
Here's honestly how I sort of use my counseling superpower, if you will, is I use it as a way to have compassion. I think a lot of the time we might see somebody in the grocery store, they cut in line, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're yelling, whatever it is. And my go-to now, being a therapist and having kind of worked on that, I used to think, oh, they're being a jerk and they're doing this, they're doing that. It builds compassion for me to say, wow, they really are in a hurry, or they're not able to be aware of the people around them. I wonder if they feel disconnected from other people. I wonder if they're able to feel joy. I wonder if they're able to recognize they might be feeling anxiety right now. And so for me, it's a way of building compassion for other people in those moments, rather than being a way of maybe like passing judgment, which is what I used to do more often. So I would say I come at it from an empathy perspective. So where I might be able to see some of those telltale signs, I don't use it as like, well, this person really needs to do so and such and such. I just think, that really is difficult. And I hope that they get the help that they need to be able to move through that and not stay at that place.
Yeah. You don't want to use that as leverage to say, you need counseling, call me, here's my card, call me tomorrow, kind of thing.
Well,
you really need to take my card.
Right? You got some issues going on there, right? How long have you lived with that? Okay. Well,
we're in networking, and she's like, here, let me slide you this card.
Here you go. Let me slide this over.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything to everybody.
I'm sure you're fine, but just take my card.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It'll be fine. We'll just work through it for the next 6 months. You'll be okay. You're going to come out of it just fine. Okay. Well, let's, I think we're right at towards the end. Do we need to take a break, Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir. One more.
Okay. Let's take a break real quick. We're going to come back, and I'm going to have some Thanksgiving questions for y'all.
Ooh.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Texas Edge Insurance. We're more than just an insurance company. We're your partners in protection. We understand that every person and every business is unique. That's why we don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to insurance. We work with you to create a customized insurance plan that meets your specific needs. And we're always here to help you, no matter what. We offer a wide range of insurance products. We also work with over 30 insurance companies to find you the best possible coverage. So what are you waiting for? Contact Texas Edge Insurance today. Visit our website or give us a call at 817-406-2929 to get a free quote today. Introducing Bankroll Media, a digital marketing partner designed to take your business to the next level. At Bankroll Media, we are a team of creative and innovative marketers that works with mortgage loan officers, realtors, many e-commerce businesses, and much more. At Bankroll Media, we're different because you're different. We get it, and that's why we're here. We're not your typical marketing agency. We don't believe in cookie-cutter solutions or one-size-fits-all approaches. We believe in building relationships with our clients and understanding their unique needs. We want to understand your business inside and out so that we can create marketing campaigns that are tailored to your specific needs. From social media management, lead generation, web design to content creation and SEO, even email marketing. Bankroll Media can do it all. Bankroll Media, building presence, connecting ideas.
And now back to the show.
All right, we're back. Thanks, Hannah, for all the information that you shared with us today. It's really enlightening to hear your aspect and your thought from that side of it. You know what you just said a while ago about having empathy and looking at from that standpoint. We all need to look at it that way sometimes, of that side of not judgment, but of forgiveness and love, right, first, and then see what comes from that point, side of it. So, Thanksgiving's right around the corner, guys, and I want to wish everybody watching today a happy Thanksgiving and safe time with your family, and always, cherish the people that you have with you and forgive those who you have something against, so you don't waste time for the rest of your life not spending time with those people, unless you just can't, handle them. If you can't handle them, best to stay away sometimes too. All right, so here's a question for all of y'all. I need to see all your hands. Let me see your hands. Everybody's hands up. I want to see them. Okay, so you're not getting any answers. Which president established Thanksgiving as a national holiday? Beth's already cheating.
I do not know that.
Ronald Reagan.
No.
I have a history degree, so this is unfortunate. Yeah. I used to teach U.S. history.
Yeah, just give her the show.
We're not judging you.
Oh my God.
Hannah knows things. Come on, y'all.
Abraham Lincoln.
There you go.
I feel dumber by the minute.
Do you know what year that was that the national holiday started for Thanksgiving?
Well, I know when he was president roundabout, so I would assume I'm going to go 1862.
Oh, you're very close. 1863. So can you believe that it's been 160 years?
Wow.
Right?
She didn't even go over. She looked like the Price is Right winner.
She was right on it. She would have got it for sure. Right? Yeah, she could have taken that instead of door number 2. So 160 years of having a national holiday about being thankful, but the other side to that is how commercialized it's become over the years too, just like everything else is. And sometimes that takes away from what we should be looking at, why we have a national holiday like that, obviously for representing something else than eating turkey or going out and buying arrangements and decor for our holiday, too. Because, back when supposedly that the pilgrims, started all of this, it was called a harvest feast, right? Back there in, I think like in the 1600s. And so that's what we should always remember about is somebody had to go out there and plant seeds, and somebody had to tend to the garden, and somebody had to fatten up the turkeys, and whatever else they had. And somebody had to take care of all that, prepare that. That's what we should always be thankful for, is all those people who came before us to do all that, to start this kind of tradition, in our lives, that and it's generational. This is a generational tradition, and somewhat like Christmas is too on that. So
I thought Thanksgiving was about the Cowboys. I'm really off track.
I was thinking that too. I said, and Thanksgiving's for watching football. I did say that.
Well, isn't that interesting that we can't call Washington what they used to be called anymore, right? But that's a whole nother
that's a different podcast
for us to talk about another time. I want to give thanks to Hannah today. Thank you for being our guest today. Thank you to Robert, Beth, Chance, Mr. Wilson. We always appreciate you taking care of things behind us. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. See you next time.
You're awesome, Hannah.